like is it Harry Potter or the Communist Manifesto?
There's only
There's
two books that have red spines with a picture of you.
oh,
Blank frame.
computer. I think we're good now. Cool.
Hi
Um,
guys.
I you want to still do the intro and all that good stuff, or do you want to try anything different?
Yeah. Well, I'll intro and say I'm really sorry that there was such a delay. We had a bit of a hiatus. I think we're both like in full summer mode.
Oh
I know
yeah.
I've been very busy with summer photo shoots. It's like the busy season, and Jamie, I'm sure you have plenty you've been busy with as well,
Oh
opening a
yeah.
dark room.
Yep. Yep. Which I'm sitting in, so
So
that's cool.
we're gonna try to not have such long breaks between episodes. I can't promise that it won't happen again, but hopefully in the near future we'll have a few more cranking out for you. We've definitely got a few topics we've been talking about.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Blank Frame Podcast, the photography show about nothing. I am your host, Yvonne Hanson, and this is your host.
Jamie Maldonado.
And today, Jamie, take it away. What is our topic?
In light of the breaking news, Pentax 17, you have never heard of this camera until just this moment. I think we're the problem. Like film photographers, I think, like we're a problem.
I love this conversation, and I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on it. Uh,
Me
I
too.
know all I've heard on any social media for the last week has been about the Pentax camera
Oh yeah.
and also just half frame as a format in general. I hadn't considered half frame as like a viable option until recently, very
Yeah.
recently.
Let's backtrack a little bit first. And what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Oh my gosh. Well, I actually just got my first medium format camera literally last
Ooh.
night.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
Oh, it is a wait, I'll go get it.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
I almost said it was a Rolleiflex. It is not a Rolleiflex.
oh.
It is the
Ah.
next best thing.
Oh yeah.
Hang on. And
Yashkas.
I oh my God.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, you got a pretty one. Uh,
I got a pretty one.
oh, those are nice.
Oh
Oh,
my God,
those
I'm
are
so
fun.
excited. I've never shot medium format. Well, now I have. Now I've taken a single picture with it.
Oh,
And the
cool.
seller got a really unflattering picture of me taking a picture of it, which I find hilarious.
It's so fun. Like I don't know what film are you shooting in it?
This is like it's Kodacolor,
Oh,
which I have
okay.
never heard of because
Code
it's
of
very
color.
expired.
Oh, it's
Um,
expired. Okay.
ancient. So
Yeah.
the seller was like, "Oh, I'll show you how to load it, and like we'll throw in a roll of film."
Cool.
Um, that was nice. I think it is. Oh, sorry, window.
Oh yeah.
I think it is very expired. I'm not actually like holding out a lot of hope, but that's probably
Yeah.
fine because I don't really know what I'm doing with it. So it's like a good practice roll.
There's a apparent depth. I had a good word for it. I used it when I was shooting digital medium format. It's like it's not the same, especially because how you present that, you're not going to just crop a 35 millimeter frame out of it every time. You're going to present it in a way that the separation from the back, it's just like if you shot an 8 by 10, it would be so exaggerated you could tell it was not your phone.
Yeah.
You start getting that. And then I really like black and white on medium format, especially square. I think you're going to really like black and white, like studio fashion stuff with that. That's going to look
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
studio stuff. Like there is a flash port, so I
And
need to
you
get a little wire for it so
and
that I
you know
can
what's
actually
great about that? It's a
what?
leaf shutter, so you can sync up to 1/500th of a second.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh sorry.
Yeah,
Oh cool.
yeah.
Okay, I can't remember what
No,
we
we can
decided on
cuss.
swearing. We decided
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could swear. Oh shit.
yeah. That shit
I'm
is
gonna have to like
cool.
do a whole bunch of research on this because I just like a friend of mine sent me the Facebook listing. It was like, this would be a really good one for your first medium format. And I was
Yeah,
like, I believe
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. I'm so excited to see what you do with it.
I'm very excited too. And the guy who
Oh,
sold it to me was like a career wedding photographer and has shot a ton
oh,
of weddings just with
oh,
this, which
cool.
like kind of stresses me out. And he was like,
Oh,
yeah, it's a very stressful job. Yeah, I believe it.
yeah, especially on
Um,
film.
yeah, right. Especially a
Yeah.
medium format. Like it took him like
Wow.
10 minutes to wind the thing. So
Wow.
I'm just looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. It's a
Oh,
whole
I'm
new
so
frontier for
excited.
me.
I shot a wedding actually last week on film. It was a very, very relaxed wedding. It was a darkroom customer wanted me to photograph her very tiny ceremony. There's a Catholic church like down the street from here, really nice church, and she had like this very
Mhm.
traditional Catholic ceremony, but she wanted it shot on film. So I did that, and so that was fun. I've seen most of it.
Well, I'm excited to see if you post any of the work from that.
Yeah, I'll share if even if I think she'll be excited to share them, so I'm not too worried.
What else have you been up to? You got any other?
So I went to California to pick up a donation for the community darkroom.
Ooh,
Uh, Went with my friend Chance, who's been a big volunteer here. So I got a big darkroom sink. I tell people it's like I loaded up my car and I can't remember any of it. I got a new Jobo tank and 5 reels, which has been a huge help. I got a light box, like this big light table that I had been daydreaming about because we had one at Kilgore College and I almost got one at Don's Used Photos. But this guy's like, "Do you want this old table?" And it was the same model and it works.
dang,
I've tried it already. So I was
nice.
super excited about that. Stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Um,
So you're like
so
getting kitted out. You must be like pretty close to be fully kitted there.
Pretty close. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I was supposed to have some cameras, but the guy's storage unit didn't work, so I need to message him again and be like, "Hey, got the driver's side mirror of my car knocked off by a drunk woman in an Audi in Sherman Oaks."
Nice. Classic. Sounds like
Yeah.
California.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I have a
Annoying.
very good customized duct taped mirror because
That happened to
but
me recently, actually.
oh
Some guy
no.
came by, swiped the mirror off the car that was parked behind me, and it went through my back window.
Whoa.
I
Jeez.
was so mad, dude. It was a freak accident. He wasn't even drunk. It was just like a misturn or something.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, insurance was a nightmare. Nightmare. Duh, story for another time. Should we get into the main body of our show?
Oh yes. Yep. Oh, before we do, did you see that Fuji has like super officially
Wait, sorry, say all that again. It just
Fu
resumed production.
Fuji released photos from the factory in China of them producing C200 and C400 with those traditional C200 boxes. Not
Photos from the
Superior.
factory. So we have
Yeah.
wait, I'm gonna look this up right after.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, so we have official confirmation from Fuji. They had like this big deal, like we're our partnership with this Chinese factories, and so it feels like it's like I'm very curious when we're going to be seeing like actual Fuji film from China now.
Sick. That's
Yeah,
great. That's fantastic news.
yeah,
Oh my God.
and
And screw
yeah,
all of the haters who said this. Just been selling frozen product this entire time.
yep,
They
yep,
cannot possibly have had that much frozen product.
yeah. I believe they sold a good deal of frozen product, but I
For sure.
didn't think that they were going to just sell Kodak forever.
No,
Yeah.
enough people buy Fuji thinking
Yeah.
it's Fuji. I still have 6 rolls of real Fuji in my fridge for you.
Oh yeah, nice. That's
Sometime
right.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a trip down there and I will bring it with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard
And until
stories
then,
of
it's just gonna tantalize me, which is it's a very dangerous place for it to
it is.
be
Oh
by a
yeah.
fridge. Because I'm out
Hey,
of color
I won't
film.
I won't be mad if you shoot a roll of it.
Okay, good, because I already shot a roll of it, but there's still 6
Oh,
left.
perfect. So yeah, speaking of new photography things, of course, the Pentax 17 has been released, the half frame. What's your initial impression of it?
Oh, the Pentax. Okay, so I I'm very like of two minds, right? I'm very excited that there's a new film camera. Like I'm
Oh
very
yeah.
excited that in 2024 we have manufacturers who are still willing to make new ones. Manufacturers who aren't like selling it for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That said, I do think it's quite expensive for something that's kind of basic. I don't think it's really bringing anything particularly new to the table. Uh, would I buy one? Probably not. Would I encourage other people to buy one if it's something that their heart desires? If they can afford it? Yes. What do you think?
Um, I was a little thrown off like everyone else, I think, when they announced it was half frame. It makes sense because I also saw a good meme maybe today, and it's like film photographers. It's got the Drake thing, where he's like looking in and looking away, that kind of thing. Is that Drake? I don't know. I'm bad at
That is
famous
Drake, I
people.
think.
Okay, good. But it was like photographers complaining about film prices, and then the next one, and he's like, he's happy, and then the next one is like Pentax releases camera that's half frame, making shooting film cheaper, and he's like that, like, and it's like, yeah, good point, because like film prices are a little high right now, and you can blame whoever you want to blame for that. There's a bunch to blame. But I like that it seems to be overall well made. I think the zone focus doesn't really matter at that size. And a lot of old point and shoots were zone focus in a way, like even if they were autofocus, they just autofocus to zones. So I think the zone's not going to be a big deal. And also, if you're thinking of somebody who's never shot a camera before, that's kind of like it's a simple concept to grasp. It's not like doing your own aperture and shutter speed. It's just like one people, two people, food. And and people can grasp that a lot more easily, I think, than like, do I think it's novel enough? I don't know. Like if they had done like a standard plastic point and shoot, I think that would have been more disappointing. Like just another SPO or whatever they called them in other places. And if and honestly, if they had done anything more than this, it would cost a minimum $800 or more. And the resolution, the vertical image format and everything, I think it kind of connects with them more. And
Yeah,
I
actually,
think,
I should have mentioned that I do really like the
yeah,
fact that it's half frame.
yeah,
I like the idea of getting like 70 photos of your own film.
yeah,
That
eh,
sounds awesome.
yeah.
And actually, the guy that sold me the Ashka yesterday was showing me some of the diptychs that he's done at weddings. And
Oh,
he's like, oh yeah,
oh,
I'll just bring
cool.
a half frame camera to weddings and like, you know, details of the food or the
Oh,
shoes or
that's
the
cool.
flowers and stuff. And it made so much sense because like
Yeah,
you can have diptychs of any detail at a wedding.
yeah.
I'm pronouncing that right. Please tell me, right? Diptych?
Diptych. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Diptych?
that's right. I
Okay.
always like
I'm
to
not gonna
say
say diptych
dipstick.
by accident.
Dipstick.
Dipstick. Yeah. I've heard it said diptish. And
Oh,
I'm like,
no, I've never heard that
well,
one.
that's not right, but it could be right, and I'm wrong. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, no.
But I feel like any of those could be diptychs, or you could just present them in like a grid, like have like you
Yeah.
know, boop 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 boop, like just
Yeah.
lots of images that kind of fill out the details of that
Oh,
day.
yeah.
That was a neat concept.
Yeah.
I think if you were using it for like a street photography session where you're exploring a new city and you have just like little details like the way that the stop signs look or the way that the crossing signs look or like you know little
Yeah.
details that aren't in every city and
Yeah.
then put that all together in like one frame.
And you
Very
don't have to
cool.
change, you're not having to change the roll as often getting those details. Because if you shot that on even a point shoot, you'd have to be popping out a roll of film and putting a new one in all the time.
Yeah. And it's
Uh,
cheaper like to get it developed. Not
yeah.
cheaper to get it scanned, but I think it actually would be if you
Sometimes,
don't mind
yeah.
cropping it yourself, right?
I think the darkroom said something about a special on like they have like a special rate now for scanning half frames or something. But a lot of things of what I've heard are people complaining about like, oh, 72 frames, I can't finish that. I'm like, okay, so are you
Good problem
complaining
to
about having more frames now? Like, is this
have.
really a complaint? Like, if
Oh,
it,
that's so dumb. That
I
makes me
know. It's like I understand like it can be hard when you're trying to save money. You try to make that 36 frames last, but also it's not like it cost film is expensive, but it's not that expensive. If you have that much of a problem finishing 36 frames or 24 frames, just shoot medium format. You get 12.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And people complain, oh, you only get 12 frames. It's like, well, are you going to be happy about any frame amount? Is there
No,
any frame amount we can deal with that's going to work for
no,
you?
no. I swear, there's some film photography consumers, probably consumers of all products, but film photography consumers are the ones that I'm exposed to, who are like not happy with anything.
These people has like made me realize like established, I heard so many people say about the Pentax, like, oh, established film photographers don't want this. Why didn't you serve us? I'm like, oh, so okay, so the people who had all these like cheap film cameras and cheap film, like from the bottom of the barrel, mega depression, the film is dead, time. It's like we're the ones currently devaluing film. It's like, oh, film's not worth bless you. Film's not
But
worth film's not worth $10. Film's worth $7, or I wouldn't spend more than $100 on a new camera. It's like, wow, you really support film because like, don't you understand that, like the only reason you got that Mamiya RB67 for $100 8 years ago is that because you got lucky
because
that
yeah,
you
the community
yeah
has shrunk.
yeah,
Yeah.
if those things were always appreciated, they would always be worth $500 or more. Just like Hasselblads are worth money again. They never should. I never should have been able to get a Hasselblad for $500 ever.
You could hustle it for $500.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
maybe yeah, because okay, so I did say earlier that the price point is like rough for me, which it is,
yeah,
but that is because I'm spoiled by vintage camera markets where I can get
yeah,
like the best 35 millimeter camera for like $100. Not the best,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
one of the best, right?
Yeah.
Like the most I'm ever gonna spend to get like a top of the line 35 millimeter camera would be like $180. And after that, you're looking at Leicas, and that's just like brand recognition.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what gets me is like I understand like yes, it is so nice to be able to buy so many cameras for so cheap. I bought it's like that's awesome. I love it, but also I could see how devalued it became to us because we could just hoard every camera ever. It's like I had a Bronica, Mamiya, and a Hasselblad all at once. This is excessive. This is like perverted and gross. It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
compared to like how much those things cost when they came out, it'd be like
yeah,
having like a luxury handbag collection, right? Like
yeah,
it just
yeah. I'm
seems
just
crazy.
wallowing in it. And
Wait, I'm so sorry.
sorry.
Hold that thought. The sun is like,
Oh no. Oh no, I'm
trying to close
sorry.
the blind. Me 2 seconds, 2 seconds.
That would
Anyway,
be
proceed.
oh
Sorry.
oh
Continue.
no, 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 it's fine. But yeah, I just felt I kind of started looking at it and it's like, you know what? Like this is grotesque because like at no time in history before or after will people be able to just own fifty cameras, not spending any money whatsoever
Really
on them.
nice camera.
I think we need to remember that there are a lot of people, they came into it after cameras started getting expensive again. And to them, having one or two cameras is perfectly normal. And we just got lucky. We're in this weird era where you could own 50 cameras for nothing. And remember that that was a weird era, that is an aberration, and that maybe we shouldn't try to saddle the current industry with our weird film depression.
Expectations. I
Yeah,
okay, so on that like same kind of note, um, I think that a lot of kind of old school film photography, not even old school, just like
yeah.
pre 2018 film photographers
Oh yeah,
take that and apply that same logic to film prices as well. And
yeah.
we'll be like, oh, the only reason why film prices are more expensive now is because like all of these hipsters are getting into it. And it's like that makes no sense.
No,
Like that's not
no,
how the
no,
market works, right? When more
no.
people want something, more of it will be produced.
Yeah,
It's not that like more people want something, so now there's less of it and it costs you more money. Like
yeah,
that's not why film is expensive now. Like
yeah,
trust me.
yeah.
I remember looking back at the price point for my camera. The oh my god, I'm sorry. This like lighting is
Oh no,
insane.
that's okay.
Anyway.
We can add some music in, like orchestral
Yeah.
music, and yes, yeah,
That light's all
perfect.
just coming off of the yeah, sure can hear
Oh yeah,
it.
oh
I'm just
yeah.
holding it here, it's glowing.
You got the bright screen for it, the very bright screen.
Looking back at the price of my go-to film camera was I think close to $1,000 at one
Yeah,
point in
yep,
19 was it 91? No, it wouldn't have
yeah,
been 90. Yeah, it would have been 91. Um and now it's like $80.
yeah.
Like if
What
you're
is the
lucky to
camera
get it for
again?
$80. Pardon?
What is the camera again?
Nikon F801S.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah. So it's and like obviously like translating to for inflation. But that like I am so completely spoiled because I'm getting the
oh
same
yeah,
like it's exactly the same technology and it's in
yeah,
exactly the same condition pretty much. Like there's nothing I don't have to
yeah,
replace like the shutter or the sensor or whatever. It's a film camera.
yeah,
So yeah. See what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. We're
That's
like,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. I am very spoiled.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just think we as established film photographers are having a moment of we need to realize this is a serious transition in like it's that whole like mindset that we had for a while is gone, and probably a lot there are probably a lot more of the new people than us now.
So is this the end of the shelfie, of the hashtag shelfie, where you take a picture of
Oh,
your camera shelf and share
oh,
it to masses?
oh, it could be the
Oh,
death
that's
of
so
the
sad.
shelfie.
It's such a great
Wow.
trend.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean,
probably, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, kind of, it is a little grotesque. Like it's a little bit
yeah,
consumerism-y and not super useful because like
yeah,
half the cameras on my shelf I've shot with for like 2 rolls of film, and I'm like, that's a great camera.
yeah.
Push it
It's gonna sit
right
there for,
there.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome on my shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can talk about you when people come over.
Oh yeah. And I was a poor kid. I remember when I was 17 and 18 going through camera magazines trying to find a camera to own. and use in college and stuff like that. And I couldn't even afford one. And here I am with like 40 of them. I'm like, dude, like
40 might be a lot, Jamie.
yeah, yeah. It's like I have definitely let go of a bunch of them. I'm like, I've got a Hasselblad. I remember sitting in class in like 98 or something back. Oh man, Hasselblads. One day I'll be able to own one. And
And I
and
do. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. And I paid still a relative discount for it. I feel like there's movies where people like wake up in the apocalypse or something and then they just take everything they want because they can because there's no humans left or something, and then they kind of reality sets in. There's
Yeah.
something like that.
No, I actually I like that comparison a lot. And that I mean, given the like 2020 market, that is
Mm.
kind of what happened in a
Yeah,
smaller way,
yeah,
right?
definitely. Oh, is it Night of the Comet? I'm thinking.
No, I mean like every
Yeah.
apocalypse
Oh,
movie has that scene
oh
where they go to the
yeah.
grocery store and they're like, "Oh yeah,
Oh
loading
yeah.
everything on," and then something
Yeah.
attacks them in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Hopefully that won't happen in the next vintage camera market, but
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we're not having zombie apocalypse or whatever.
I do think
But
that like the overall trend towards having like more expensive products, meaning that there's more people in film photography.
yeah.
Like, I'm totally fine to compete at the vintage camera markets against people who are buying their first camera if it means
Yeah.
that more people are buying their first camera, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's the
exactly.
positive. I saw
Yeah.
two kids at the lake yesterday who like looked like they were like 8 and 10, and their parents had bought them both little point and shoots. And I was
Oh.
like, oh my God,
Oh.
that's so cute. I'm so glad
That's
you're
so
doing
cool.
that. Like,
Oh.
teaching your
Yeah.
kids about the joys of photography.
Yeah.
Well, I
Teach
think
that.
also like film teaches people about photography. Like
Oh yeah.
we're so used to having infinite photos that we like
Yeah.
kind of don't take the time to think about the photos that we take. And I'm
Yeah.
sure like I don't know if you've got the same problem as I have where you've got like terminally full storage disease on your phone because I have like 20,000 photos that
Yeah.
I'm paying Apple every month to host for me and I
Yeah.
need 20,000 photos, but I have them and now that I have them there's too many to get rid of.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
never gonna have that problem with film, right? I've thought about each and every film shot. I've got one folder on one hard drive with all my
Oh
film
yeah.
shots in it. They're all organized. They're
Yep.
nice. I like them all. I've thought
Oh
about them
yeah.
all, even the memory.
I have 127,749 photos on my phone.
Jamie! Oh my God, wait, now it's competition. I gotta check how many I actually have.
Yeah.
120? Jamie! What are you doing, bro?
It's so much. So
Oh my
much.
God. Okay, wait, how do I tell how many I have?
You go into the albums, and then you go back from your recents or whatever. Is this an iPhone?
No, it's not an iPhone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh wait, but here it'll tell me photo images. I've got 6.2 gigabytes of photos.
Whoa. I
No,
don't
it
even
doesn't.
want to
But
know.
6.2 gigabytes, I'm literally paying Apple, like, no, not Apple, Google.
Oh
Paying
yeah.
Google at least $3 a month every month
Wow.
for the rest
Yeah.
of my life.
And I tell people it's like you don't need 100 photos of that thing you're ta anything. I don't think. I'm sure it helps
No,
occasionally, but you just don't
no.
like. And once you get good enough to like know you've gotten it within a couple of photos, it's so liberating.
Oh, I bet. Like when I'm
Yeah.
even when I do a digital shoot, like usually I'll get something that I'm happy with within the first
Yeah.
20 minutes of the shoot.
Oh
And then
yeah.
the next if it's an hour shoot, then the next 40 minutes are just me like taking photos for the sake of
Oh
making the
yeah.
client feel like they're paying for like a full service. When
Yeah.
really like you already got the photo, like you've already gotten the service.
Yeah.
Now it's just like so that you get your money's worth, right? But you've already gotten
Yeah.
your money's worth.
Oh
It's
yeah. Yeah. Just
so
go for
dumb.
bonus. It's like, okay, let's see if we can get like some bonus like good photo or play like take a big risk or something like that and have fun with it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like it's so much more rewarding just doing it. Like you have 36 frames. We're gonna think really hard about each shot. The last like 4 frames are gonna be kind of goofy because we're gonna run out
Yeah.
of ideas. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great. Like
Oh yeah.
I feel like having more people getting into film that way, like I'm yeah, super happy to pay higher prices for cameras, not higher prices for film. I think this will make film cheaper overall. And
I
more
do
people
hope it can have that effect. That would be really nice.
that'd be really
Uh,
nice. Cross your fingers.
I was thinking it's like I might move some cameras and try to save up for that Rolly, that Mint Rolly 35 though. because it's little. It's a true point and shoot, but with manual ability and a glass lens. And I don't use point and shoots a lot, but when I went to California, I brought that Yashica T4 with me, and I did use it quite a bit. I don't use it much around home, but when I travel, I did use it a lot, and it was kind of nice to have that. And I was like, but that thing's a ticking time bomb. It's about the same price as the Mint Rolly, but if I had brought the Rolly, then I wouldn't have cared a lot because like it's under warranty. They have spare parts. The Yashica dies. It's just like, well, that's an expensive paperweight, and it's not even very heavy, so it's not even good at that.
Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone who I know who has there's like this market for extremely expensive point and shoots that I
yeah,
personally don't fully understand. I know like
yeah,
the zoom and the glass lens are factors, but I know that some of
yeah,
them can get up into like the 400, 500 plus dollar range. And
yeah.
everyone who I know who has one, whenever I go to touch it, they're always just like hovering over my shoulder, like,
Be careful.
"Mhm."
Be careful. Getting back to half frames, have you shot half frame at all before?
No, I haven't. I've shot quarter frame. I've shot the action sampler
Oh yeah.
filmography camera.
Cool.
Uh, I actually never got my roll back for that
Oh
one.
no.
It's just sitting in the
Oh.
camera like
Oh
fully.
wow. I had
So
one
at
of
some point,
those. Yeah. I had one of those for like over a decade and then I never shot it because I thought it was broken, but then figured out you had to load film. Then I sold it to someone for really cheap and they told me it fell apart when they shot it.
huh. Well,
So yeah,
okay, it's a matter.
tragic life. But I shot
Oh,
I got a Yashica Samurai, which is this weird camcorder looking thing. It's actually pretty good. It's a true SLR.
I've ogled a few half frame cameras. There's one I actually can't remember what it's called. It's
Hmm.
it's like golden something.
The
Do you
golden
know what
half. You remember
golden
the
half something? Yeah, and
yeah,
it
lomography used to yeah.
marketing for it is just really good. So
Huh.
I've definitely spent time ogling
I
that one.
I may have taken like a single frame with one of those because I knew this person who had one in like 2012 or something like that or 2009 and I took a few frames. I'm like, half frame, that's interesting. And never bought one, but I like it always stuck in the back of my head. It's like that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that I had never even really heard of half frame cameras. I think that was probably the first one I ever saw.
Oh, I do have a half frame medium format camera. This guy made one called it's supposed to be a panoramic camera, but it's basically a half frame. Okay, spark plug SPRKPLG. Um, it's loading.
Right. Yeah, I'm reading up on it right now.
He does some pretty cool like here nano pano, that's it. I have a nano
Nano.
pano and it's kind of neat. You put like this Mamiya lens on it or something like that and you can use your phone as a LiDAR focus and frame finder using this app called Image Junkie and it's pretty accurate, but it's
Whoa,
just a lot of setup, but it is fun. But yeah,
that sounds fun. Yeah, this looks cool. I'm looking at it right
yeah.
now.
Maybe when you're in America again, I will send it to you in America so we can avoid the postage nightmares.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or
I can
I'm gonna come down at some point. You'll
yeah.
you'll see me one day.
Oh
It'll
yeah, yeah.
hopefully this year.
Oh yeah. We're gonna somewhere in Texas or something like that. Yeah, there's gonna
Yeah,
be
no,
something.
I've never been to Texas and I want to go.
Oh
So
yeah.
at some point you'll
Okay,
see me.
definitely let me know. I can travel wherever because you're going Canada to Texas. I can at least go across Texas. But yeah.
Um, you got any final thoughts on today's
Um,
topic?
parting thoughts.
Us
Let's
film
see.
photographers, us veterans of the problem.
Established film photographers who've been around and like are enthusiasts and not newbies, I guess, need to take a minute and remember that in a good world, we will be the minority very soon if we're not already, and that's a good thing. So we just have to be happy that we had a few minutes where we could buy like a $100 Mamiya RZ67, but also understand that it's maybe better that we can't.
Yeah, I think on that topic, like there's a lot of people who are just camera enthusiasts but aren't photography enthusiasts.
Hmm.
And while I can appreciate that cameras and gear are like a really fun side of the art, it's really
Yeah.
important to understand that the art or like that photography manufacturers will always be catering to the art side of photography
Yeah.
and not to the desire to explore absolutely every camera at an affordable price point.
So enjoy your cheap camera era, and now be happy when you do find a cheap camera and you get a good deal. It's extra special now.
Yeah, yeah, it's extra special. You have to hunt extra hard, and it'll just give you an excuse to go to more vintage camera markets, which
Yeah.
I know we all need an excuse to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I've joked about wanting to like get a camera convention to set up here. I'm like, just so I can look at all the cameras and maybe buy one.
You should do it. That would be a good convincing factor for me to come and visit.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Do it in December when it's reasonably
Yeah,
reasonable temperature down there.
it'll be kind of like spring for you here, probably.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Spring is my favorite season. So
there you go.
we'll have to talk
So,
about instant film next time because that
oh
is
yeah.
my pet project right
Oh
now. And I've
yeah,
got a lot to
yeah.
say about some of the new instant film cameras that are out and
Okay.
also about the utility and purpose of shooting instant film in the first place.
And I shot a lot of instant film on my trip alongside that Yashica. So
Mhm.
I have many good thoughts about it. So
Cool.
yeah. Okay,
All
so we
right.
already have our topic.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And meet
And
in a
to
week or
our
two.
viewers,
And
stay tuned for next time when we will be talking about instant film. What is the purpose? Is it worth it to shoot? And why do we bother in the first place?
so you can find me at jamiemphoto, JAMIEM photo, like photography. On Instagram. Tiny Woods Darkroom is my darkroom, and that'll all be in the descriptions and captions and good stuff like that.
And I'm Yvonne. You can find me at yhanson_photography on Instagram or Yvonne Hanson on YouTube. And again, that'll also be in the description below. So go and check out our other pages if you want to see more of our stuff. In the
We're
meantime, see you all next week. And I think you guys should stay sharp and don't forget to keep shooting.
We're on YouTube on Blank Frame. We're found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and probably some other places.
So go and find us there, and we'll talk to you next time.
Have a great week or two, or hopefully not 2 months.
Have a great week or two. Just two.
Perfect. Bye.
Bye.
The
Does
official
summer
song.
actually start on summer solstice? I always feel like that's such BS. Because like June
Yeah.
1st is summer. Everyone's wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly, it sounds like some kind of like just folk saying from when before the Gregorian calendar when all the seasons were out of whack.
Yeah. I think we need to go full mystic or just pure science, like just like full commitment
Honestly,
here.
yeah, I feel that way too. I feel like pure science is June 1st. Is the first day of summer.
Yep.
Because there's 3 months of each season, and May is a spring month.
Time is a construct anyway, so why don't we?
Yep.